The teacher that impacted my life the most would have to be Miss Van Gorder because I don't know, she's just been there since freshman year. I love her so much. I'm always going to her for anything and everything, and she's just a person I can talk to anytime.
The visual teacher who impacted my life the most is Miss Smith, because I never really knew about filmmaking before and I never really had an interest in it, but she taught me all of that, and now I have a slight interest of what I'm gonna do in 10 years. Thank you. Bye.
A Fitzgerald teacher that impacted my life the most was Miss Tassios. Miss Tassios, I've had her I think like twice in my high school career. She was like my most favorite teacher. She still is. She really helped me out. She understood me. She gets me. There would be a lot of times where she would talk to me about things, and I would see her time to time because she's my favorite teacher, and she taught me a lot of things. You know, she was a lot of the times a reason why I smiled through most of my high school days.
My favorite teacher is maybe I think I have two of them. I have Miss Smith and I have Miss Mulligan. They are the sweetest ladies ever known. I just feel like they impact me so much because they encourage my writing all the time.
Also, the Fitzgerald teacher who impacted my life the most is Mr. Queen, because in his class I discovered myself and what I actually believed in terms of political ideologies, and he helped me be who I am today.
Which teacher impacted me the most? Definitely Mr. Busatel.
My favorite teacher that impacted me at Fitz was, oh my god, there's so many. Miss Tassios. One, Miss Tassios because she's funny and like it's hilarious. She's whenever I'm having a bad day, she comes like she always makes my day. That was my ninth grade. That was my favorite ninth grade teacher. Favorite 10th grade teacher. I don't think I have one. I like Miss Mulligan. Miss Mulligan is almost like Miss Tassios. I think like this, they're just so funny to me. And then my last teacher that impacted me was this year is Miss Sonnenfeld, because this past couple of months I have been feeling down lately, and I shouldn't because of the pandemic and stuff. And whenever I'm in her class, I feel better about myself every day. So I appreciate all of them for being there for me as much as they were. So yeah, bye.
The teacher that impacted my life at Fitzgerald the most, I would have to say, is Miss Crawford, because like she just always tried to make sure I stayed on my work and kept me motivated, even though I know I probably irritated her, but I definitely do appreciate her, and I do hope she's doing well, and yeah.
The Fitzgerald teacher that has impacted me the most throughout my high school career has to be Mr. Bisatel. He has been my teacher since 6th grade, and he has watched me grow and has always had my back ever since then.
The Fitzgerald teacher who impacted my life the most was Miss Lametta, because she pushed me further as an artist and always comforted me when my personal life got chaotic. She's a very wonderful teacher as well as an amazing person.
Which teacher impacted my life the most? Mr. McGuire. He's more like a friend than a teacher. Yeah.
The teacher that impacted my life the most was Mr. Busatel, the band director. He's just been there for me a lot, and he's helped me through a lot of things.
The Fitzgerald teacher that impacted my life the most is Mr. McGuire, because he works so hard and goes above and beyond for his students.
The teacher that impacted my life the most, Miss Lametta, because she helped me boost my art skills even more, helped me create new ideas and new drawing details I can do in a later future on.
The teacher that's most impacted my life and why, I'm going to have to say, was Mr. Bierman, because, like, he helped me a lot, like made me get my head on track and find out what's important to me and what's not really important.
And my favorite Fitzgerald teacher, I'd definitely say it'd be Mr. McDonald and his math classes. I think I had him for 2 years. Yeah. You could just tell that he truly cared about his students and he really wanted what's best for you. And he always made me and my friends laugh. Like, he was so funny. And he is just the most supportive teacher. And I'll definitely remember his class for a very long time. So, yep. Bye.
Which teacher impacted me the most? Impacted my life the most? Miss Sonnenfeld. She's always so cheerful, happy, and she just makes me happy.
I have two teachers that taught me very good lessons, Miss Mulligan and Mr. Queen. Mr. Queen, he taught me to always get the work done on time, and you would never fail. And Miss Mulligan, she always taught me to give chances. She always gave me a chance when I was slack. There was times where I was slacking, and she was to give me a chance. So I always know to give people a second chance. Thank you. Goodbye.
And one of my favorite teachers at Fitzgerald High School would be Miss Sonnenfeld. She was like always happy and such a good person. Like you can't go in a room with a bad attitude.
The teacher that impacted my life the most would be Miss Rubel because she's not only helpful with math but everything else in life.
The teacher at Fitzgerald who most impacted my life would have to be Mr. Wynn. He helped me through a lot, and he showed me there's more to life, and there's more than just school is stupid. He made me realize there's a lot of things that could help me further on in my road.
A teacher that impacted my life from Fitzgerald. Well, he's not really a teacher. Well, I never had him as a teacher, but Coach H, he really impacted my life. You know, what I'm saying he gave me motivation. He always encourages me to do better, be better, and that really helps. Thank you.
The Fitzgerald teacher that impacted my life the most was Mrs. Cassage because she's always been like the most unique teacher. She's like a really cool math teacher. She'll have you sweep if you do something bad, rather than giving you attention. She's just very cool to talk to, and I relate to her.
And my favorite teacher in Fitzgerald High School is all teachers, but Mr. Bierman, he gave me a lot of knowledge, and he gave me a lot of good learner English and a lot of words.
Now, the teachers that impacted my life the most at Fitzgerald is going to be Miss Smith, Miss Tasios, and Miss Fletcher. Miss Fletcher, because I actually like creative stories, and in her class, I was able to do something I liked. Now, Miss Smith, because I am going to school for photography and being in her TV production class, I actually started to learn more and I actually know what I'm doing. Now, Miss Tasios, because she made my school life enjoyable. And in her Spanish class, I actually had fun. I didn't think I was going to have fun at all, but I had a lot of fun. And she's like a school mom, so she made my life very enjoyable. Thank you.
Besides, because she always got on me about doing my work and staying on my work and stuff. And she always showed me that she cared.
I really can't just pick one name for the teacher that impacted me the most because so many teachers impacted my life there. But I'd really have to say my top three would be Mr. Smith, Mr. Wynn, and Mr. McKay.
My favorite teacher, necessarily, I don't have a favorite teacher because I think all of Fitz teachers are just great themselves. And I honestly think there's so many that I could list that truly impacted my 4 years of being at Fitz. We have Miss Mulligan, we have Mr. Bierman, and we have Miss Sonnenfeld, and just all the other teachers at Fitz. Their characteristic truly brings out so much in their students, and honestly, we can't thank them enough.
Mr. McDonald, because He'll answer every single question that I asked him, and he's very kind to us.
The Fitzgerald teacher that probably has impacted me the most is probably Mr. Meyer. I've had him almost every single year since freshman year, and coming into Fitz, I knew almost nothing about coding. I knew nothing about like Arduino, robotics, any of that stuff. And over the years, he's helped me sort of find my passion and love for the STEM field, find my love for coding, my love for dealing with things such as Arduino or robotics and that type of stuff. And I'm very grateful for that, and I'm glad that he's helped me find a path for my future that I'm happy with.
My favorite teacher that impacted my life the most would have to be Miss Cassage, because she was always there for me. I could always talk to her about anything.
The Fitzgerald teacher who impacted my life the most was probably, that's a good question. Fitzgerald teacher who impacted my life most, I would probably say Mr. Woj, because he was the coolest teacher I ever came across. And when I needed advice about school or life, he'd give like the right advice at the right time. Anytime I needed my grade to go up, he'd help me out. And yeah, so Mr. Woj probably. Wojciechowski, I don't know how to say his name, but Mr. Woj probably. Man, that's it.
When it comes to teachers, I just say like any of the funny teachers, like Mr. Michael. Teachers that are that teach like the stuff that I'm interested in, like film. Miss Smith, she's a really great teacher.
The teacher that impacted my life the most was Coach Gary Scope, because he's always been there for us players, you know what I'm saying? And he gave us great advice, and it's really helped me out.
A Fitzgerald teacher that impacted me the most on becoming a better person through high school, I think it was Mr. Kleinsmith and also Mr. McKay, because those two teachers, they were actually really cool teachers. They made school fun for me. It made it more engaging, making it more making me willing to learn about science inquiry, which is Mr. Kleinsmith, and also my history, which is Mr. McKay. So Mr. McKay, a really great teacher. I enjoyed having him as a teacher. Just 100%, like 10 out of 10, including Mr. McKay. Shout out to them both of you. If y'all watching this, I really appreciate y'all. I really do. And also to all the friends I made in high school, we made it. We're seniors, and we're about to leave and go to our own footsteps in life.
My favorite Fitzgerald teacher, the one that was most important in my life, I would have to say Mr. Meyer. Although I don't like the web design class I have, I really love my teacher for it. They're understanding, fun. I have a lot of, help in that class, and it's really nice.
The most Fitzgerald teacher who impacted my life the most got to be Mr. McGuire. He helped me out a lot. Without him, I won't be able to graduate.
The Fitzgerald teacher who impacted my life the most has to be Miss Van Gorder. She really opened me up freshman year through my junior year, because I took Chinese for 3 years. Her personality mixed with mine made me have more fun. She was a very enthusiastic, very loving and kind, and she gave me advice every time when I needed help, and she helped me become more successful, not in Chinese class, but in general.
The teacher that impacted my life the most will have to be Miss Smith, because she made me fall in love with digital media, and that's why in the future I might think about going into photography. And before I joined this class, I wasn't sure what I was good at, but I got in this class and I found out that I was pretty good at editing. So yeah.
And the Fitzgerald teacher that impacted me the most would be Mr. McDonald. I had a lot of fun with him. Yeah, he's always been there when I need help in class, and he was always a great guy. I had a lot of fun with him.
The teacher that impacted me the most was Miss Tajios, because you can go to her class and just chill throughout the day.
The Fitzgerald teacher that impacted my life the most was Mr. Queen, because he taught me discipline with my work, and he taught one of my favorite subjects, which was psychology.
And then my favorite teacher from Fitzgerald is, well, Miss Shanna isn't a teacher, but she was my favorite person there, my favorite adult at the school. She made my time there really fun. I had something to look forward to every day. And yeah, she was my favorite teacher. Okay.
The Fitz teacher who impacted my life the most is probably Mr. McKay, because during a really rough time with some family problems, he was really there for me.
The Fitzgerald teacher that impacted my life the most has to be Mr. Michael. He was more of a friend than a teacher to me. He'd always understand what I want. He'd always understand what other students want, and I used to talk to him in a more of a friendly way than a formal way of talking to a teacher.
The teacher that impacted my life the most was Miss Sonnenfeld, because while we were doing the little online stuff, she really made it fun and easy for me to pay attention in class. And I feel down about failing my grades and stuff. So.
The teacher who impacted my life the most while I've been at Fitz is Mr. Busatel, the band director, because I would not be the person I am today without being in his class for the past, I think, 7 years. Yeah.
The teacher that impacted my life the most is Miss Lametta.
And which Fitzgerald teacher impacted your life the most and why? And well, I wouldn't say there's one specific teacher that impacted me. I would have to say everybody in that school has impacted me in in a way that I can't exactly describe. If I were to pick somebody, I would say maybe Mr. Michael, because not maybe, but Mr. Michael, because Mr. Michael's been always there for me. He's always checking up on me. If I ever need anything, I usually go to him, and he's always there for me. And yeah.
The Fitzgerald teacher that impacted my life the most is Mrs. Lumetta, because she taught me to be creative and express myself.
Teachers that impacted my life was Mr. Wayne and Miss Sonneville. They both are awesome. Miss Sonneville inspires me to be happy and positive every day. Mr. Wayne is so understanding. He would help out a lot as well. Whenever we need to turn in work late, he would understand and he would give us enough time to finish our work. So that's it.
The teacher that impacted my life the most would probably be Miss Mulligan, because every day on a daily basis she would always uplift you and have kind words to say no matter how she was feeling. And so yeah.
The Fitzgerald teacher who impacted my life the most is definitely Mr. Busatel, the band director. So he's just a great, open-minded and positive influence in my life, and on top of all that, I've had him for the longest out of every teacher, since 6th grade band up until now. So he just cares about all of us so much, and he cares about what he gives to the band, and his number one priority has always been how we're doing as people, and he'll go out of his way to make sure that we're okay and we have what we need. Having that throughout high school has definitely impacted my life in a really positive way and has influenced the way that I go about life in general.
The Fitzgerald teacher that impacted my life the most and why is Miss Smith, because I took her class to learn how to edit videos, and she taught me how to better myself on social media.
The Fitzgerald teacher that impacted my life the most would have to be Mr. Hughes and Mr. Michael and Miss Crawford.
The Fitzgerald teacher that impacted my life the most got to be Woj and Kopicki, because they keep it real and they always talking about me, but it's okay.
The Fitzgerald teacher who impacted my life the most is, I would say, everyone. Every one of my teacher has impacted my life. Every one of my teacher has inspired me to do new things, get out of my comfort zone, and learn many things. But if you say to take a name specifically, I would say Mr. Bierman. He has impacted my life in many ways because when I went to school, first I didn't know how to speak English and doing anything, and I was afraid of trying something new. But he has pulled me out of my comfort zone and taught me how to many life lessons that I am using right now, and I am who I am today. And I'm sure I will use those skills which I learned from all of my teachers in my future.
The Fitzgerald teacher that impacted my life the most is Katie Van Gorder. She is just a very loving teacher, and she always knows how to make you feel better anytime you're feeling down.
Next, the Fitzgerald teacher who impacted me the most is definitely Miss Walker. During my first year at Fitz, I definitely had a hard time adjusting, and she was just always that person who made me feel safe and made me feel comfortable. And overall, anytime that I needed something, that whether that was school related or just life in general, she was just always there for me, and I really appreciate her for that. Not only is she a great teacher, but she's a really great person as well. And yeah.
The Fitzgerald staff member that impacted me the most is probably like Coach Scope or Coach Shakes, because they keep it real with you and they try to make you a better person on the field and off the field.
The teacher at Fitzgerald that impacted my life the most was Mrs. Sonnenfeld, because she always had really inspiring stories and she taught us to be ourselves.
The teacher who would have to impact me the most would probably have to be Mr. Michael, because he really was relatable to the present world that we're in, and he opened up my reading a lot more than what I would have went.
A teacher who impacted my life the most at Fitzgerald would probably be Mr. Busatel, the band teacher, because especially in middle school, I didn't have the best attitude towards teachers. Gladly, I broke that habit, but yeah, I didn't have the best attitude towards teachers, and even then and now, he would still tell me that he knows that I could do better, that I should do better, and that made me want to do better. He tells me that in band and outside of band that I have so much potential, which means a lot to me. He's never given up on me, even when I was so mean to him, which I do regret and I'm so sorry for. Yeah, I'm sorry for that, Mr. B, but thank you for all you've done for me, and basically being one of my favorite teachers, even though I've never told you that, but yeah, thank you.
There were a lot of teachers who impacted my life. They taught me how to be more of myself, not care what others think, and just how to live life to the fullest.
A Fitz teacher that impacted my life from Fitz will have to be Miss Van Gorder, and the reason I say that is because she's just very uplifting, a good person. She cares a lot, and she's just very fun to be around. Any time of the day, any event, any type of situation.
Mr. Nelson, he impacted my life the most because he gave me knowledge that I need as far as graphic designing and stuff. And now I don't have to go to actual people who do graphic design, and I can just do it myself.
The Fitzgerald teacher who impacted my life the most is Mr. Berman, because he always tells me the facts about life and to work hard until I be successful in life and makes my dream come true and never give up with anything until I make it true.
Mr. Romaine has impacted my life more because he taught me mostly about automotive and what to do on cars.
The Fitzgerald teacher who impacted my life the most is Mr. Bierman, because he is very supportive and he always inspired me for my future and study. He always said work hard for my future and career. Thank you.
What teacher impacted on me? Actually I could say or for helping me become the person I am today, the young lady I am today.
All Fitzgerald teachers impacted my life because they taught me something.
The Fitzgerald teacher who most likely impacted me the most has to be Mr. Drazios, because he helped me realize what I needed to become the better version of myself. And another one is Miss Kasaj, because her class is so fun.
And the physical teacher who impacted my life the most is Mr. Michael, because he's very supportive and he helped me create interest in studying and helped me learn in a positive way.
Probably Mr. Wynn. I don't know, I just like his style of teaching. He real calm and laid back, but it's a lot stressful. You know what I'm saying? It's real chill, but he makes sure you get your work done. It's a good environment.
My favorite teacher, I'd say Mr. Smith or Miss Kasaj. They were both very fun to have. They were both funny. I loved being in their class. Virtual, it was just amazing. I had a good time, and I'm thankful for that. So thank you for that.
The teacher that impacted the most is Miss Kafania. She was always there for me every step of the way. She helped me out. I'm here because of her. That's it. Thank you.
I have to say Miss Tassios because she was always there for me whenever I needed her.
Which teacher impacted my life the most at Fitz? Probably Miss Smith, because she really opened my eyes to new possibilities with cameras and stuff of that work. I didn't really see myself becoming like a film photographer or a photographer in general, but it was definitely good to learn how to use the camera and how to work it in general. And yeah, I think that was a pretty fun way to spend my time at Fitz, and I thank Miss Smith for that.
The teacher that impacted me the most, I can't really pick one because there were a lot, like Miss Sonnenfeld, Miss Smith, Miss Tassios, Mr. Michaels, Miss Crawford. It's a whole list. So yeah.
The physical teacher that impacted my life the most is probably Mr. Busatel, because he was always there, always pushing me to do my best and succeed.
Okay, so which teacher impacted my life the most and why? So throughout all my 4 years at Fitzgerald, at Fitzgerald High School, I was impacted by a different teacher every year. So my freshman year, I was impacted by Miss Rubel, who helped me out a lot, no matter what class it was. I knew I could always go to Miss Rubel for help. My sophomore year would probably be Miss Tassios. That might have been one of the best teachers I've ever had. She was really easy to talk to. She always helped. Like if somebody had a problem, she was always there. She was basically everybody's best friend, everybody's favorite teacher. My junior year would have been Mr. Hines or Mr. Hills. I was really close to both of them. Mr. Hills was somebody I could go to with anything. He was basically like my best friend. Like I could go to him if I had any type of problem, or if I needed help with any of my work, he would help me. Or even if he didn't know it particularly, he would still try his best to help me figure it out. Like we would do it together. And Mr. Hines, he was just like a really cool and laid back teacher. He was really funny. We would always tell jokes and stuff in class. He was just an all-around great teacher, and it was only his first year. So I'm happy that we got to be his first class ever. Well, like his first class being a fully teacher. And lastly, I think my senior year, I think the teacher that impacted me the most this year would be Miss Homage. Now, that is a teacher who really checked up on me a lot, because she knows that this year is very hard on everybody mentally, because this is all new to us, doing everything online and like 6 classes a day, all virtual. Even kids in person, like it's still really hard, and like it's hard to get it's like something that you really don't get used to be honest. And she made sure to check on me all the time and made sure that if I needed help with my work, she helped me with it. And yeah, so that was my senior interview.
The Fitzgerald teacher who impacted my life the most, I think, has to be Miss Sonnenfeld. She's gone through so much, but she's such an inspirational and respectable person. She, chooses happiness every day, and she makes me want to be a better person. And I think that's inspirational and just a great quality to have in like anyone.
My favorite teacher is Miss Tasios. She helped me continue learning Spanish. I was learning Spanish since I was like 10, like 6 years or something. So she continued helping me learn Spanish.
The Fitzgerald teacher that impacted my life the most would be Ms. Van Gorder, because she's really kind and caring, and she's just a really great person.
And the teacher that impacted me the most is Mr. McGuire, because if it wasn't for him, I would have never been a better writer than I've ever been. That's all. Thank you.
The teacher that impacted my life the most is Miss Smith, because she pushes you to do better, and she's my favorite teacher.
Which teacher impacted my life the most? The teacher who impacted my life the most has to have been Mr. McKay, because he always wanted what was best for everybody, and he was always willing to help everybody whenever they needed it.
The teacher that impacted me most at Fitz was Miss Van Gorder, because she has a really fun and laid back personality. She would always find a way to make class interesting, and I would genuinely enjoy seeing her and having her in my day. So, yeah.
A Fitzgerald teacher that impacted my life the most would be Miss Mulligan, because of her personality is very open and loving, and she really helped me open up, and yeah.
My favorite teacher from Fitzgerald would have to be Miss Van Gorder or Wan Lao Shi, because she made learning fun, even though Chinese is a very hard language to learn.
Okay, the two Fitzgerald teachers that helped me the most was Miss Kafaya and Mr. Body. And I want to thank them for that.
A teacher that impacted me at Fitz was probably Mr. Queen, and he knows because I told him. But because of him constantly making sure everyone was engaged and calling on people to make sure they were paying attention, it always kept me engaged. It really did. I wanted myself to always have the answer just in case he called on me, and I kind of took that with me through every class. So in every class I was making sure I was on the right track and had the answer just in case I was getting called out, because I was too afraid to get it wrong, and I was really shy, and I was like, oh. But it started to make me want to answer on my own because I knew the answer, and I don't know, I just knew the answer, so I wanted to start sharing my answers.
The Fitzgerald teacher who impacted my life the most, I would have to say Mr. McGuire, because he's known my family for so long, and he's helped me out so much to help me get through my classes.
A Fitzgerald teacher who impacted my life the most is probably Mr. Wynn. Why? Because he's taught me a lot during the time that I've been in his class, and I really respect him as a teacher. He's very honest, very blunt, and I like that. And that's all. Bye!
The Fitzgerald teacher who helped me the most and I appreciate the most is 1, Mr. Body, and 2, Miss Lametta. And if I had a third one, it's my favorite, Miss Kafanya.
The Fitzgerald teacher who impacted me the most was probably Miss Lametta, the art teacher. She was really cool. I felt like she was more of a friend than a teacher. Yeah.
I am who I am today because of all the teachers, but the one teacher from Fitzgerald who impacted my life the most is Mr. Wing. We started our journey at the Fitzgerald High School at the same time. I had him for US history in my freshman year, but I liked him so much that I took sports marketing in my sophomore year, marketing 1 in my junior year, and advanced marketing in my senior year with him. Because of Mr. Wayne, I got a beautiful award and the title, City Student of the Year. I don't like to write essay, but I can write multiple 12-font MLA format essays saying how amazing he is. Thanks for listening to me, and thank you, Fitzgerald, for everything.
And
The teacher who impacted me most at Fitzgerald, that's hard to say because I feel like all my teachers, like, they all impacted me in some type of way. Like, I feel like I learned something from all of them, something that I can take on, to use and take with me later on in life. And yeah, I feel like they all taught me stuff that I can, use. So I can't really say pinpoint just one. And yeah, that's it.